Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 5. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here and welcome back to this week's news report. We are now in February. Things are looking good because January was not too bad at all. We have one major player in here that made more than 50%, so in the past month. And then actually also big surprise here, we have one account that has crashed. We're going to tell you a bit more about it, exactly which EA has crashed, which account, and how much money was actually involved. We're going to show you everything in here as usual. Nothing is hidden, both the positive and the negative. Of course, we're going to share and show you exactly what happened. But we're going to start off here first with our yield notes project. Not really much to say in the past weeks. There hasn't really been any updated news reports that comes out with any positive things. What you're looking at here is basically the homepage of yield notes, where you can log in. You can find more details and information also on some of the projects. And again, they have the exceptional media where they have filed a lawsuit also here again. So all these details are in here, including all the advance updates back in December. So just before Christmas, they were telling us exactly what is happening. Still, we are looking at end of Q1, hopefully for some positive results and a bit of money out at some given point, but we don't see too much happening at the moment. So all we can do is wait for now. Now, wait for now, we can actually go and see what SAP is doing. And it doesn't seem like there's much trust in the SAP coin at the moment. Last week we left it just around the point and a double zeros, quite a few of them, down to 25. And since then it has gone down to about 21 here now. So we lost another about 20% of that particular part. Not that it matters too much. The value is quite low. We need to get much higher, but obviously it's going the wrong direction at the moment still. And all we can do is sit back and we can sit and stake some of the coins that we are doing now in the hope that things are going to turn around. So this one here is still on 24/7. In the past week, we have the SAP coins, the staking has come in on the 28th of January, 280 SAP, and that's pretty much all we had from that particular week. You can see previous week is 22nd of January and then 19th of January. Again, it is pretty random how things are coming in, but overall we have about 1.4% of the 280 SAP that has basically little profit, so nice to have, but we would like to see a lot more, and obviously also the coin value going in the right direction. Now we should also talk about the PNY, similar here, also staking at the moment. And the last one we have of the rewards, 133 PNY, was on the 31st of January. Also here, again, quite random, was a week in between here last time, 24th, and then down here 21st. It was also only 3 days, and then it was 2 days, and then another jump of 7 days. So obviously, things are moving around and there's not a particular date where you get your payments out every single time. However, we are getting 0.8%, which is obviously fairly low and half of what we saw in the previous week, 133 PNY. It's better than nothing, and obviously the system works, but again, we would like to see plenty more. We can see a bit more when it comes to the Bitcoin versus USDT. When we left Bitcoin last week, we were down in the 41,400. Since then, it has been on the move upwards, and for this week's all-time high, it's 43,882. Since then, it was dropping all the way down to 41,800 almost again, but at the moment, it is now trading around the 40,000 or 43,000 mark. So again, positive, but when you look at it, it looks more like sideways trading than anything is trending at the moment. Nothing is trending either, even though it starts with a T. This is the Trillant news. And also here, not much news coming in actually from that platform. There is a couple of things on the news report that they have sent out, or the weekly newsletter. And it tells you here that as there's been a few questions regarding our weekly newsletter, we would like to inform you once again about the planned distribution of the newsletter on the various topics. We will only send compliance updates when relevant information is available, so as not to flood your inbox. Our weekly newsletter will continue with important development tips and useful information. And obviously, again, we have seen quite a few over the time for the news report and the newsletter, but there's not really much behind it. It is a bit of a word salad as usual in here. Now the second part is also just a small update where they would like to inform us about an important matter that unfortunately has been increasing concern to us in the past. Rumors allege cooperation with other network companies has increasingly surfaced. We would like to make it clear that we have not entered into any form of cooperation with other companies and distance ourselves firmly from any form of poaching. Good to know. It is unfortunate that individuals within our community are falsely claiming to be working with other network companies in order to support the 3 T's here. These claims are false, and we want to make clear that we have no affiliation with other companies. Likewise, we have already received inquiries from authorities to whom we have clarified that we are in no way affiliated with various companies. So continues to have trouble within the Trillant platform in here, and we certainly hope they're going to get this sorted out. In the meantime, we're going to have a look at CoinStore, just see where the tree is at the moment. This is still not the stable coin, so that is the variable coin that we would like to see coming back up so we can stake it again. And last week we left it at 0.0002711. Since then it has been on constant decline all the way down now to 0.0002207. So obviously also here not a good development on the coin side itself. Good development, however, is on the money tree. So the money tree has a tendency to go a bit low and slow and then don't cash in for a week or two. But that doesn't mean we have to turn up the volume again on the EA, because things are coming back, as you can see, for week 5. The low risk account, this is a $10,000 account. It made 60 this week, so not much, 0.8% overall. The medium risk account is a $5,000 account, and that one made $45 or 0.9%. And then we have the high risk account making the highest gains also here of $142 or 2.9%. So that is definitely also going in the right direction, even though maybe the percentages is a bit low compared to what we have seen in the past. Now it's also the end of January, so that means we have to have a closer look at what January looks like. And for the money tree and low risk, you can see it's not too bad. It's actually $502 or 6.7%. The medium risk is the lowest one with $228 or 4.6%. And then the high risk one outbeats everybody again with $687 or 13.7%. So that is definitely some very good numbers for the month of January, taking into account how money tree started off. And we can see part of that. Back then it was a $5,000 one for the medium risk, went all the way up here to 6,250. Then we crashed it a bit, and then we made some adjustments. Once again, things went the wrong way. And after that, we have been tweaking things downwards to make sure that it's safe and it's usable. We seem to have found some very nice settings in here. And as you can see, we're getting very, very close to the all-time high of this particular account. We like to show you both the positive and negatives as I started off with. And also here, you can see that after a while, when you are testing the EA out, things can actually go in the right direction. Also on the high risk account, we are in the positive when it comes to the balance over the 5,000 again. However, the equity is below. At the moment, we have a floating loss of 1,320. So obviously that is not a good thing. It's actually quite a long time ago since we saw that big of a floating minus. So let's see exactly how that's gonna go in the next week or two. Hopefully it will all clear up and the profit will come back again to it. Also, when it gets to the profit retriever for week 5 in here, we are actually back up. Last week was a very disappointing week in the top 5, but this time around we have gold on the top with $974 or 9.7%. The FTSE 100 has been quite strong and has been up there also for quite a while, especially on the weekly ones. The FTSE 100 made $533 or 5.3%. Aussie Japanese number 2 signal, $526 or 5.3%. And then the other signal, also Aussie Japanese, very slowly, shortly after, $474 or 4.7%. And then the last of the top 5 is the Euro USD with $446 or 4.5%. Overall, if you would have traded those top 5 signals here in the past week, you would have made $2,954 or 5.9%. And that is definitely good enough for us. What is good enough for us is also the top 5 on the monthly side for the profit retriever. That one had quite a good month here also, as you can see. Gold finished off in the top again with $2,779 or 27.8%. So a very, very nice profit for the month. FTSE 100's not too far behind with $2,341 or 23.4%. And then we have silver in the middle here in the top 3 with $1,493 or 14.9%. Number 4 is the Euro Japanese, $1,240 or 12.4%. And then Aussie Japanese, $1,094 or 10.9%. Overall, again, also here, very strong top 5. If you would have traded those for the month of January, you would have made $8,948 or 17.9%. And that is definitely very, very high. But I also told you in here that things don't always go the way we want it to do. At the moment here, you are actually looking at the US 30 index. And this is what has happened with the index here over the last many months. You can see the bottom part. We are looking all the way back to November. And we had a massive trend. So on the US index, basically this is US stocks. And the number down here is about 34,000. You can go even further back, but this is where our robot basically entered. And then they continued to have a trend. There was a very, very small retracement. They had a bit of sideways trading here around the 37,000 mark. And since then, it has continued to go up, beating all new time highs and also the longest stretch in positive for an extremely long time, so I believe ever. So obviously that looks very nice, but as you can also see in here, we actually have sells on the EA, and that meant that our EA crashed. And that looks like this, and very nice. We had a bit of a drawdown in here, we had another drawdown here, and then a long drawdown, and this is basically the paths you saw before, and then it crashes out at the end of the day. And if we have a look at the month itself, you can see this is from June 2022, starting making a bit of profits, and then we are adjusting it so it fits quite nicely. And all of a sudden you get to 2024 January, and it loses basically all the account, 37,000. One of the things that I always mention when we talk about these crash account, and obviously this one here was quite profitable, is that when you get to the 20,000 here, you are basically taking that money out, making sure that the account is risk-free, and back to 10,000. You can then either take the 10,000 and put it on a new account again, so you trade something else, not this one here particular again. And then you have 2 accounts, and they're now both making money. You are risk-free should one crash. And the next time you get to 30,000, you can then opt to take the 10,000 out again, and that means obviously you have 20,000 in the bank already. So the next time where it didn't reach up here, the account will basically crash, obviously earlier because you don't have that much money in there, but you would still have had 20,000 to try and trade with something else in here. So it's all about the risk management at the end of the day. This, as you can see here, is a demo account. This is what we are using for our copy service, and also what we use for our own signals in here. And you can obviously use the same risk factor as we do. We normally mention already, so how much you should have in the index, and that is normally something we always cover every single week. Now, obviously, the entire portfolio is still doing quite well when it comes to the profit retriever. At the moment here, the balance is more than $500,000, and that still comes down to that we have about 23, 24, I believe, accounts in here. Equity is up with 490,000. All the accounts started off with 10,000 in here. And you can also see as we have added the accounts, things have been looking quite good and quite stable all the way through. Now that account has crashed, we can see there's a little bump on the road here. So that also gives you a bit of an idea of exactly how much it meant at the end of the day. And as I said, if you would have taken money out and tried to make yourself risk-free during that period of time, then things would have been looking quite well. So you wouldn't have stressed too much over it. Now the entire portfolio is actually 687 days old. Again, you can see the weekly returns, monthly returns. And as we talked about before, the monthly returns are actually bigger. It's simply just because we are not changing the lot sizing all the time. We are continuing to trade them like they are $10,000 accounts. And if we have a look and see how well we have done when we have taken out the loss of that particular account, we can see that the rest of the accounts in here actually made $16,920. And for the month of February, we're always up, already up with $2,428. So things are moving in the right direction still, even though we blow an account from time to time. And we try to make sure that we maximum blow one every 3 months. You can most probably not avoid it completely. And that's also why we try to write in here many times. You can see the portfolio here and also some of the risk that is involved when it comes to it, especially when you are trading metal and indexes. You need a lot more money in here compared to if you are doing Forex. It also depends on if you are copying some of our signals in here, so be careful. You don't necessarily have to trade one-to-one. You can do half of what we are doing. And you can see all the results down here before you even start copying any of the signals. So definitely always very good thing to start off with. So if you are interested in setting up your own profit retriever and trading, then you click on this particular link over here where we have plenty of videos as always. Or if you want to go to the Expert Forex coupling service, you also have this on our website and you simply click this one here. That will also help you get started. Now we have more EAs and they are also doing okay. The Trade Explorer is one of the ones that you don't really have to do much with every single week. It simply cashes in, but this week it is cashing in quite low. 22 pairs is only at $137 or 1.4%. The 10 pair one, $195 or 2%. Definitely not bad for a week. And if we have a look and see how well the January has been for the Trade Explorer, the 22 pairs did pretty okay with $505 or 5.1%. But have a look at the 10 pair one here, a massive $2,316 or 23.2%. And that is definitely up there with some of the best. We really like the 10 pair one. It is a bit more aggressive sometimes, but it is getting the job done. Again, we're having a look at the development. We can see also here the account balance has actually doubled. And this is what we mentioned. Again, you can see the floating profit and loss. We're at minus $10 at the moment, so not really much. And that could be a good opportunity to go in and basically claim back your $10,000. So now this account will run risk-free. You can then use that for a vacation. You can use it to add some other robots in here instead. It's entirely up to you, but that we believe is one of the best strategies and what we are using. The second one is the 10 pair one. That is doing even better, as you saw before. Balance 24,900, has a floating profit loss at the moment of minus $223. But again, it is crawling up quite nicely. It is profitable all the time. Total return 146% at the moment. So taking over nicely and simply just cashing in. And also cashing in is our Wave Liberator for week 5. Don't forget the Wave Liberator is set up a bit differently from the other EAs you see. It is running on a $10,000 account, but the settings we are using is actually in such a way that you can use it for FTMO, proprietary trading, or you can use it on a $1,000 account. So the $1,000 account is how we are calculating the percentage overall. But again, we also caution you here again to put more money in the account, because as you will see here also, these percentages is quite high. So you can lower your expectations a bit to make sure nothing crashes. The top one for the week is British Pounds USD with $67 or 6.7%. US Japanese $66 or 6.6%. And New Zealand USD $44, 4.4%. And then Great British Pounds Japanese $41 or 4.1%. And then USD Swiss francs $39 or 3.9%. Overall, if you would have traded those in the past week here, week 5, you would have made $256 or 5.1%. That is definitely very good and solid results. Well, when we are just talking about 1 week, isn't it? Now for the weight liberator of the full month of January, and this is the top jumper, the US Swiss francs has made an astonishing $516. And if you would have had that on $1,000 account, you would have made 51.6%. And this is just for 1 month. Yeah, so this is obviously quite high results, and we have to dial this one down a bit. So definitely to make sure that we get into the same levels as we have with the other ones. But as you can see, New Zealand USD is not doing too bad. 207% or 20.7% over the month. That is definitely still very, very high. And that means, again, you can lower your risk. So maybe you're getting somewhere around 10-15% instead. US Japanese $202 or 20.2%. Great British Pounds USD $197 or 19.7%. And then Euro Swiss francs $170 or 17%. So even in number 5 position, you have 17% for the month. And total for the 5, if you would have traded those in January, you would have made $1,293 or 25.9%. And that is definitely very, very high. Now you can see our portfolio here also, how we are trading it. And as I mentioned before, we started off with 13 accounts, 10,000 each. So it looks like we have made our first 10,000, even though we are doing quite slow. You can see the history down here, 167 days. Monthly returns is 1.6, weekly returns 0.4. That has been quite stable, and obviously the stability comes from the portfolio. Also, as you can see the graph in here, it is very, very smooth. There's no big jumps up or down. And then you can decide if you want to basically trade it like with $1,000 account. So 13 accounts times 10. Yeah, obviously then you'll end up with a monthly return of 16% and 4% on a weekly basis. But this was meant for the proprietary trading in here. And as we showed in last week's news report, you can find the videos in our YouTube channel there. We are keeping within the drawdowns. If you, at the moment, we had about 3, and if you traded what we have with a $100,000 account, you would have a maximum drawdown at any given time of maximum 4, and we are quite happy with those numbers overall. If we have a closer look at the graph and the development, so we have seen the same things. This is the graph, it's going up, and then you can see the net profits. In the beginning, we only had a few accounts in here, and that obviously means we only managed $440. Since then, things have gone up, and for the past 3 months here of November, December, and January, we are within the $2,000 range every single month. And as we said, you can take all these signals, you can dial them up to double or triple, and then you will obviously see that you will get that double or triple also. So if it's triple, then you're going to end up with about 6,000. You're going to have 7,000 there, and again 6,000 here in January, if you feel that that is the risk strategy you want to go by. And again, on our website, we have a lot more details on the Web Liberator EA and how you should be able to trade it. We have some recommendations, so just to be a bit cautious all the way through. You can go in and you can have a look at every single signal in here. Everything is for free. And as usual, this is the latest video that we have made on the Wave Liberator. Again, it has a 100% success rate at the moment. And what do we mean about that? Well, you can go to our portfolio, you can have a look at it, and you can look at the equity we have in here. and all of them is nicely positive. All of them are actually above 10,000 and getting very, very close to the first $10,000 of that particular account. And people might think it's a bit low, but we are taking it very slow, as I said, especially when it comes to the proprietary trading. That is very, very important, that you are cautious and you take things step by step and not rush into any of this, because you will crash out very, very quickly, similar to what you saw on one of our other accounts here today. And we also have a few videos from Alex, an expert Forex. So this is again the hedge robot, and he's telling us here today that 57% in 46 days. So you can see that is actually a bit below what I just showed you here with the Wave Liberator. Here we had the Wave Liberator managed 51% in a month. So, but again, very good prop ratios, and that is also exactly why this is great for proprietary trading. Alex also mentions further about financial freedom, how you can retire. And again, this is about being steady and cautious and not too aggressive, similar to what I mentioned in here. And he shows you one of the ways of how you can make a bit every single month, and then you add accounts to it, similar to what I also mentioned here today, that you are trying to get yourself risk-free, set up new accounts, and now you have 2 instead of 1 to create some financial freedom. And then again, when they have more money in there, you take it out, you de-risk yourself, and you set up more and more accounts. And the best part for this particular week here is actually that there's a special bundle discount here also for some of these. At the moment, it's the Expert Forex Hedge, the RSI Liberator robot, the Wave Liberator robot, and the Profit Retriever. So the entire Liberator range, you get up to 80% off. So we have those videos in here also. So simply go to the text in the video, and we'll make sure that the links are there so you can find them. And there's also a price on the effective prices for the Profit Retriever. It means that if you buy them in the bundle, then Alex is showing you that this is basically the conversion rate. So with the percentage off of what the individual robots are costing. So at the moment you can get a bundle price for 80% discount and $800 for premium members in here for the Expert Forex forum. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. We hope you liked it. We hope you liked both the ups and downs in this particular news report. Again, nothing is hidden. Everything is shared the best way we know how to. So obviously, I'm ready to give you the next update. So in one of my next videos. So hopefully, make sure you give me a thumbs up, a comment, and I'll see you on one of my next videos. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.